You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
On this motherfucking plane. Now we got drinks. Oh, stay free. Come
It all sounds like some bad movie.
Oh, good sir, good sir. Hello.
Back to Moviesucktastic.
That's right, baby. Oh man.
Where we just talk about movies. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's all we. Yeah, that's it.
And right now we're talking about Oscar movies.
We are. That's this time of year.
Yes,
this
yes.
time of year we do this.
We're barreling through them. Now, sir, I personally am rocketing through the films that are up for this year.
Rocketing. I only have one more to watch.
I have watched all of Best Picture, and I have watched all of the Best Actor, Actress, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress.
Wow.
And I have watched all Best Original Screenplay.
Huh.
And
which
I
think both of these movies are both up for Best Original, or no? Mank, I think, is adapted. Sound of Metal might be original.
Mank is not up for a screenplay.
Oh, really?
Ironically.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
and
right.
Sound of Metal. Yeah, Sound of Metal is an original screenplay.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of adaptations this year, up for Best Picture and stuff. Even if they're not up for screenplays, a lot of stage adaptation, a lot of literary adaptation. Not very. Now, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of original material, but I mean that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, and the screenplay for Mank, and I know we'll talk about it when we do that. It's David Fincher's father wrote that. He was nominated for a Golden Globe posthumously, so interesting. Okay.
Yeah, no, very interesting. There's a lot.
But this episode, we are reviewing Sound of Metal.
Yes.
That's what we're doing this one.
Which is up for Best Picture.
It is up for Best Picture.
And also Best Original Song. No.
No. It's up for Best Picture. Best Actor for Riz Ahmed. Best Actor in a Supporting Role, which is Paul Raci. I don't even know how it's pronounced. Or it could be Rachi. Anyway, we'll call him Paul Raci. Best Sound, ironically enough, Best Sound. It's about someone who can't hear. Best Original Screenplay and Best Achievement in Film Editing. I always find the film editing nomination a lot of times... Well, yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. I really can't tell one way or the other if it's edited really, really well. But I can tell when a film is edited very, very poorly.
Yeah.
And what's funny is Bohemian Rhapsody, which was that last year?
A couple years ago?
It was either last year or the year before.
Yeah.
That was nominated for Best Film Editing. And one of the first things that I said when we reviewed it was, this film is really poorly edited.
Yeah, and I didn't know if I agreed with you on that.
I'd have to listen to the episode, but I was very adamant about it because transitioning from one scene to the other...
And I've heard it from more than just you.
It's very choppy.
You're not alone.
Editing. Yeah. And it won Best Oscar, or it won an Oscar for Best Film Editing, and I'm just like, how is that even possible? I get it. It's a movie about music, and there's songs performed, concert-style editing going on, and I get that, but as far as a film goes, very poorly edited. So, on the other hand, this is a little indie film. You know, he's out in a field, and you hear bugs, and you hear things like that. And what they do is, when he's out doing these things, they make, and that's why it's got a nomination for Best Sound. They make sure,
What things?
When he's out doing things, when he's out with, like a group of people, or he's with his girlfriend, or he's just walking around.
You mean during the film?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said when he's out doing things.
All right. I mean, he's always doing things throughout the entire film.
Well, I'm not done talking.
Okay.
When he is out and about doing things, okay, I'll say it again. They go through great lengths. I don't know if you noticed this, but I did. They go through great lengths to make sure that you are hearing a lot of what's going on in the background. Little things, like when he's out in a field, you hear bugs, you hear birds, you hear the wind blowing, and
obviously the audio is a big part of this film. I mean, because they make sure that the audio that you're listening to is the narrator's audio.
Yeah,
because our main character's audio. So you're hearing the way he's supposed to hear. So yeah, obviously.
No. He can't hear shit. So they're making you, the viewer, hear what he cannot. So that's why those are so heightened.
You, the viewer, can hear what he cannot.
You're missing my point.
I'm confused. So what's the film about?
All right, I have to make sure my point is getting across the right way. He is completely deaf. He is a drummer for a metal band. Him and his girlfriend are in a metal band, and he very rapidly, very quickly loses his hearing completely. Mm-hmm. And he is hell-bent on getting his hearing back because his life has been completely interrupted by this. And so he's also a former drug addict. He's clean now, but because of this, he's got tendencies that he might go and start using again because of the position that he is in right now. So he goes to a rehabilitation center that is designed for people that have lost their hearing or cannot hear at all from birth, that are also addicts or recovering addicts. So he goes there, and his intention is never to stay. His intention is to just kind of be there and to seek out this operation that he's heard about to get his hearing back, which you should always read the fine print on that stuff. That's all I got to say. So what I'm getting at is he's now at this rehabilitation center, and he can't hear anything at all. He's learning sign language. He's developing friendships within this group of people that he normally wouldn't have even met in his life. But where I'm going with, like, back to the Best Sound is when I have to do this because I think you missed what I was trying to say. He can't hear anything, but you, the viewer, can hear everything that he would love to be hearing in that moment. Like just being in the elements, in nature, walking around, just the clicking of a keyboard, typing. It's all heightened in this movie. It's all done on purpose to really point out what this person is no longer able to hear anymore.
Okay, I didn't notice that.
I noticed it immediately. Just like when he's out in the field, it's just like you can hear everything. The wind rustling across the leaves, and just cicadas. You hear all of it. And maybe I just have a really good surround sound, but I'm pretty sure it's because that was the intention. That it was really, in my opinion, they went through great lengths to really put that forward and on display. That's just my best guess of it. And again, I think that's why it has received Best Sound.
Yeah, and so the film it's shot very freehand, I think you would say.
Yeah, it's a little indie film. I mean, a lot of times they're done that way.
It's not all handheld, but I mean it has that rough feel to it. It's not in a bad way. Just you can tell that it's going for that feel.
Right.
That kind of like almost documentary type feel,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's not a documentary, obviously. And it's about addiction, dealing with cataclysmic changes in your life, adjustment, and obviously the character study on top of that. And I never would have watched this film.
Well, the main one of the Paul Raci, he's nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and if there's any surprise of any award given this year, it might be for him. He might actually get this.
I feel like that would be a surprise.
Well, yeah. Well, here, let's see. Who's he up against? He's up against Sacha Baron Cohen in Trial of Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya
Not getting
for
it.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
I think he's up.
I think he's up too. Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami, Paul Raci for Sound of Metal, and Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah. To be honest, if I had to put money, it's going to be either Daniel Kaluuya or Lakeith Stanfield. But if there's a dark horse, it's going to be Paul Raci.
I would go with either from Judas and the Black Messiah. The only thing I don't get, just real briefly, is Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie, and
That's the one with like Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali, and yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
And he plays the musician.
Animal House, that musician.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. No. I just forget the name of the musician because I'm not big on music. I remember Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X. And Jim Brown, I think.
Jim Brown is in it. Yep, that's one of the characters.
I remember that. But my point is, like, there's those four guys. The whole film was those four guys talking, essentially. There's cutaways and stuff, but basically it's just those guys, and all of those actors. Out of all of them, I was least impressed by his.
He plays Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke, thank you.
Okay.
And not because it was a bad performance, but it's just that there's great performances all around in that film. So out of all of them, I wouldn't have guessed he was going to be the one, but maybe I missed something in his performance. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but
at this point, I would put even money on Judas and the Black Messiah. Either one.
Oh yeah. But like I said, if there's a dark horse, it, in my opinion, will go to Paul Raci. If neither of them win for Judas, so that's just my guess. That's my gut. I think honestly, I try and think like how they would vote. And Daniel Kaluuya, like when I fill out my ballot, I'm like, how are they going to do this? I think it might go to Daniel Kaluuya, just because he's been in a lot of really good things, and he's been nominated once before, and I think they might give it to him.
Yeah, well, I've got some opinions on that when we review that one. Definitely something to talk about. Sound of Metal. This is probably my least favorite out of everything we watched. Out of everything, period, that's up for Best Picture.
Well, and I know that you said that you were dreading seeing it the most.
Just because I didn't want to. It's you're everything else is like, oh, it sounds interesting. This one is like you're literally making me watch this. Because I know it's. I find that I'm less interested, and I'm seeing this more and more as I watch a lot of these Oscar nominees this year. I'm less interested in dramatic films that's based around like real drama.
Right.
Like for me, I mean, I like my films a lot darker. I'll be honest. I like when shit goes sideways. But just these Pieces of a Woman. Yeah, I'd love to spend half an hour watching a miscarriage and then another hour watching the woman try to survive it. Yeah, no, it sounds like a great hour and a half of my life. I don't care. It's just like, oh, great, performances, yeah, whatever. It's just, I don't find it entertaining. That's my only, and I can differentiate between good and bad in that area too, but it's just not my favorite. And this, I don't care about music. I have no real concern about deaf people.
But like I had mentioned, this really isn't about music.
No, but I mean, it's the backdrop.
I mean, like the opening of the film is, for the most part, all the music you really get in this movie. The opening to the movie, which is excellent, by the way, because it just really shows the passion of the two of them, and then her essentially her grounding after that performance, because you get these notions that she's not really into it as much as he is, and then that is actually, that storyline is brought forth a lot more later. So,
well, much like Pieces of a Woman, this is about like how a couple handles something that disrupts this norm they've created around themselves, and how they handle that kind of tragedy,
right?
And what it does, and how it tests the relationship. I mean, that's in both of those films.
I mean,
really.
fast forwarding to when they see.
By the way,
go ahead.
I just got to say quickly. Yeah, musicians will be interested. People interested in music will be interested in this film. It doesn't matter if there's not a lot of music. Just in the way that I like films about writers, but I don't watch films where a guy spends an hour and a half just writing. It's about the culture. It's just the. And by the way, it unnerved me just watching this twitchy little ferret-faced guy for the entire film. Just, ooh. That nervous type of little guy where he's, like they're always looking at like ready to jump sideways for some reason.
Are you talking about Riz
the main character?
The main character, Riz Ahmed?
Yeah. At least how he plays him in the film. I mean, the character he plays.
Well, I mean, he looks like he may have like some ADHD going on. He just can't sit still. No, and because
I'm sure the heroin's not helping Joe.
Well, he's not on heroin. He's clean. But he's always fighting in the film. He's always fighting, just going out and getting fucked up.
That's what I mean. You don't have to be high to act like a junkie.
Oh, well, that's just true.
I mean, they act weird sober too. It takes a huge toll on your life. It ain't easy being a junkie, Joey. Yeah, but the failing is mine because I just, as John Dimes would say, I am not a good audience for this film.
I love John Dimes. We haven't talked to him in forever. We should definitely get in touch with him again.
Yeah, I still see him on Facebook now and then.
Yeah, I do too. But no, here's the thing. I think people who are interested in music and they're seeking out this film because of that are going to be disappointed. So I don't agree with you that if someone is interested in music and they're going to seek out this film anyway, I just don't agree with it. I think this movie has very little to do with music, other than the main character's desire to want to continue doing music, but cannot because of their loss of hearing. The way the film begins and ends are polar opposites. And the lack of music in this is there is hardly any music in this film.
But
there's no culture with music either. I don't agree with that either.
You're mixing up soundtrack with like the theme.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter if there's a lot of music in the film. It is not about actual like up on stage. It's about a musician that loses his hearing, drummer or not. It's about a musician that loses their hearing. That's something that anybody that is into listening is gonna want to see.
I don't know if I 100% agree with that.
That's okay.
I don't,
right?
Because he could be a stockbroker and likes to listen to loud heavy metal music and loses his hearing anyway.
It would make a movie out of it.
No, they wouldn't, because that would be a real shitty film.
Yeah.
But my point being is I don't think people interested in music are going to be interested in this as much as you think.
Okay, and you're wrong, and it's okay.
I don't think so.
Though,
but
as far as the films, as far as the awards that this film is up for, I don't see it getting Best Picture.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Well, let's see. Does it have a shot at anything? Let's see. Does it have a shot at anything?
Best original screenplay? I don't think so.
Yeah, best actor. No, I don't think that's. I don't think.
No.
No, he's not getting that.
What?
Well, don't say fuck no.
No.
Come on.
No.
You know who said fuck no? For Adrian Brody and The Pianist. Everybody said fuck no, and then that guy walks out on stage and wins Best Actor for that. And he was excellent in it. I'm not saying he didn't do it.
Win Best Picture.
No. I don't remember what was up that year, but he was out of left field. Nobody thought he was going to win Best Actor for that movie.
Performance can't have been any better than his performance in Predators.
and it was also directed by what's his face, the guy who.
I need more.
Polanski. It was directed by Roman Polanski. Thank you. Jesus.
Oh, the guy who. Oh, okay.
I was trying to word it properly. We're accused of raping a 60-year-old girl.
You picked a good place to pause.
Yeah.
No.
I was going to say, the Mansfield, murders and all that stuff. His wife. But
as far as Best Actor, I have my favorite, and it's not by a long shot Sound of Metal.
Oh no. So okay, film editing. What's it up against for film editing?
I've seen everything that's up for Best Film Editing. It's The Father, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, Trial of the Chicago 7.
Maybe Chicago 7 on that one. Just because it's courtroom drama. A lot of quick cuts. Flashback scenes.
That's one area Sound of Metal may have a chance.
I'm actually surprised Mank wasn't nominated for film editing. Considering how that movie moves. And we'll talk about it when we review it. But
again, I don't know what the fuck goes into Best Film Editing.
Me neither.
I mean, really, I know it's involved, but I just can't pick something. No,
I don't know.
I'm confused. I'm confused, Joey.
Are you confused?
Very confused. Yes, I am.
Don't be confused.
And
no, sorry.
So we're not. I mean,
so Best
no
Picture.
We haven't really given anything away in this film.
No,
I mean,
no,
no
not
spoilers,
really. No. So Best Picture, that's a definite no. Best Actor, no. Supporting Actor, don't think so, but there's a dark horse in Paul Raci. Best Sound, maybe that's its best shot, in my opinion. Maybe Best Sound. Just because of what I was saying earlier. Well, what's it up against for Best Sound? Let's see.
I mean, what else have I seen Riz Ahmed in?
He was the bad guy in Venom. I think I had mentioned that a little while ago before we started reviewing Oscar films.
Like I even remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
Nightcrawler.
No, that's right. I think he was one of the news guys, wasn't he? He was like the behind the scenes guy.
He's not the guy who got killed at the end. Oh, spoiler.
Was he that guy, the one where he gets killed and then he repositions his body for a better angle or some shit? Was that him? I don't remember. That was such a great fucking movie.
No, excellent film.
I should
look for a cast list.
Should really rewatch that one. Best Sound. Oh, you know what? News of the World might grab it, just because of it's a Western.
Yeah, that was him in Nightcrawler.
All right. Greyhound, Mank, News of the World, Soul, and Sound of Metal. So, do they not have 2 categories for sound anymore?
No.
Wow.
Why would you have 2 categories for sound?
Well, they had Best Sound and Best Sound Editing.
Yeah, and that's stupid too.
Well, they were giving away 2 Oscars, so now they give away less. Well, here's the thing. You know why I think they cut it down to 1? Because almost, and you could look this up, nearly every single time, I mean, nearly every single time, the film that wins Best Sound Editing wins Best Sound too. They never split. Ever. Because if you're giving an Oscar for editing, then obviously you have the best sound too. So they never split. I guarantee you that's why it's 1 Oscar. Guaranteed. It's like you're giving away 2 statues for literally the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, why else would they take away a second Oscar for someone? Because it never splits. That's why. It never does. I can't even remember the last time that category split. Where they gave away an Oscar for 2 different movies for 2 different... No, it doesn't happen.
I think you're getting too worked up over this.
I'm getting all fucking... I'm all jacked up on this. Yeah, let's talk about fucking sound.
Yeah, I'm actually concerned. You okay?
I'm fine. So best sound, I mean, maybe it gets best sound. Other than that, I liked the movie. I know you were dreading it. So you know what's interesting?
I didn't want to watch it.
What's interesting is every year, almost every year, there's always one film we walk away from hating. It's like, you know what? This film shouldn't be nominated. It's not that good. It should have never bothered. I don't think we're going to get that at all during any of these Oscar films.
There's no film here I strongly hate. There are films here where I'm annoyed a bit by them, but nothing outrageous like. And I mean, this film was an interesting. And again, this is falling into a new bias I've discovered in my film viewing. Is like it's very well done, especially chronicling, an individual or a couple, however way you look at it, them going through this crisis and suffering through it horribly, and then at the end, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but like not winning per se. Like it's just like it's not a happy ending.
It's not truly
in a
a
traditional
happy
sense.
Yeah, it's really not.
It's arguable, but I don't want to spoil anything since it's such a new movie, which we don't usually do. But what it comes down for me is I don't want to spend an hour and a half watching someone suffer. Unless it's entertaining. Unless they're like, unless someone shoot an arrow every 10 minutes and trying to figure out how to get away. That's, something with...
Sure.
It's like a normal life drudgery. Hillbilly Elegy, I had the same issue with. It's like the same thing. It's like, oh, yeah, so just watch people with miserable lives for an hour, 2 hours. I mean, that's great and all, but I could just go back to Phillipsburg if I wanted to do that.
Ooh, ouch.
Seriously.
You know what?
It's just like an attitude I'm getting towards some of these films. It's like that whole streak I had before, which I still agree with. Right? I was like, everything was like, oh, good, more rich people problems. Oh, good, more rich people problems. And I still hold of that. It's an easy out. But I mean, it's just one of those things. I think as you evolve, you get to a point where it's like, wait a minute, all that stuff I enjoyed before, maybe I don't like that so much. And it's just like an evolution of taste. Right. I think. I'm sure you're afflicted the same way.
Yeah. I mean,
but
I personally, I'm with you on the fact that it's like I really don't feel like watching someone just go through torture the whole film. It's like this person is hell bent on getting his hearing back because he loves his girlfriend. He loves the music that he plays. They have a tour book that they have to put on hold. He wants to. I mean, he's talking about at one point finishing the tour book completely deaf, just watching for signs and her motioning of like when to come in on certain songs because he can't hear anything at all. It's like, okay, we're doing this song. And he's like, okay, I know how to do this song, and I'm just gonna look for cues. Like that's how committed he is, and that's just that's where he is in his life. This is a huge inconvenience. He really just wants to get back to the way things were, even though his girlfriend, she's in it, but they're from when, because they decide to like she decides to go back home and he decides to stay at the rehab center, so that kind of figure things out and whatnot, to at least try it. And he's been, besides himself that she's gone. And when they meet up again, she looks healthy. She looks happy. And then he talks about, because he had gotten the operation, and there's things that are with that.
The cochlear implants. He gets some hat.
Yeah. So he starts talking about, okay, let's go back on tour. Let's get back in the van. Let's go do this. And then earlier in the film, she starts like scratching herself, and you could see that she used to cut herself because she was like in some weird place that she was like inside her own head. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't doing any of that the entire time he was gone, because she was kind of free. So when he comes back and he starts talking about doing those things again, she doesn't even know that she's doing it. Like it's like a tick. She just starts like going at her arm, starts scratching. And then he sees that and he's just like, fuck.
And again, not a very subtle way, but it delivers the message that he's a destructive aspect of her life.
Right.
And that, like, it's just so.
Right. I mean, she loves him and he loves her. What do you mean? Since we're doing spoilers?
Since we're doing that's a major. That's a spoiler. So
I wouldn't say that's a spoiler.
No, that's a spoiler. We got to call spoilers now. That is after the fact. That's a spoiler. But since we're doing spoilers,
I don't see how that's a spoiler.
Trust me, it's a spoiler.
Okay.
It's a major scene in the film. It drives the end of the movie.
Well, now that they know that because you just said it, they don't know that it's the end of the movie.
It's a spoiler. And you said it was near the end when he comes back.
I said it was later when they meet up.
All right.
I never said it was the end.
Again, I didn't mean to accuse you. I was just going to say...
No. I was just going
to say, since we already are, I just wanted to mention, I think it's ironic that I'm 5 minutes ago I was complaining about how, like, all these films with their, I don't want to watch suffer, like, have a down ending where they lose at the end. But Hillbilly Elegy is different. It's a memoir. And so the whole thing at the end is the main character actually succeeds in life and does well.
Oh.
And I'm like, fuck you. That's what kind of cheesy ass ending is that? I'm just not happy no matter what happens. Happy endings, I'm pissed off because it's too cliche. Negative endings, well, I don't want to be sad now. Fucking figure out what you like, Scott.
Figure it out, man. What's wrong with you?
Jesus, what is my problem?
What is wrong with you?
That's all. That's funny.
All right.
I mean, great performances. I
enjoyed the film. I actually watched this before the Oscar nominations even came out. And this is how I know people that are into music won't care or will be disappointed, because I went into this blind. Yeah. Well, I'm giving you an example. I went into this blind. Mayor said, "Oh, there's this new movie called Sound of Metal. We should watch it." I went into it blind, didn't watch a trailer. I saw the opening of the film, and that was like literally the last time there was any kind of music. And I didn't walk away from the film disappointed, but I knew, I was like, wow, I was, watching this film, and I'm like, shit, it's called Sound of Metal. I figured it'd be like a metal drummer. There'd be a few more things with music. I didn't mind the direction that it went in, but I did go into this thinking, because like I said, I went into it completely blind. I did go into this thinking.
You seem to have made a lot of assumptions about a film you went in blind for.
What I'm getting at is, I went into the film as someone who likes music and walked out of the film as someone who was pleasantly surprised that I liked it and that there was no fucking music. But that's why I'm saying what you said about people going into this because they're into music, I think people are going to be disappointed.
I meant everyone but you.
Everyone but me? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we should rate this thing. It currently sits 7.8 on IMDb, 54,000 votes. I don't think I would give this an 8. I think I would give this a 7.
I'm comfortable with a 7.
Yeah, 7.
Solid film, just nothing
Yeah.
spectacular.
We haven't given
Nothing.
anything an 8 yet.
Nothing. And, I mean, unless it was that being deaf sucks, I don't really see any message coming across here. And
Wait. Have we given anything an 8 yet?
yeah, we've given it a few 10s. I mean, oh, you mean for
No,
the
no, no.
Oscars?
I'm talking about this year.
Oh, I don't know.
Let me see. What did we review last week?
Actually, they should have just called this. I think a better title for this film instead of Sound of Metal, because I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Why Sound of Metal?
Oh, we gave Judas and the Black Messiah an 8.
Yeah, it deserved it.
Um,
What's the Sound of Metal?
well, it's a metal band.
Uh-huh.
It's a take on the word sound. It's a take on that they're in
Yeah.
a metal band.
Right.
And that's all it
So-
really is. That really has no other meaning.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's a stupid title. Doesn't communicate anything. I think.
Oh, you know what? I think we gave Trial of Chicago 7 also an 8. I think we gave back-to-back 8s last week.
Hmm.
No, we did give it an 8. I really enjoyed the film. I wouldn't have been happy with a 7. No, we gave it an 8. We gave 2 8s last week.
I got two better titles for you than Sound of Metal.
All right, let's hear it.
Fuck Deafness,
Okay.
which would also work with the theme of the film and
I mean,
the hard edge.
you'd have to have an asterisk on the poster.
Yeah, and the other titles, huh?
All right, Mel Brooks. I mean, come on.
Hey,
What?
huh?
What now? All right. Let's end the show. Let's end this
That was not funny
episode.
since we're talking about death.
We should probably just go ahead and end the episode. It's
Yeah,
probably
well, we'll rate it 7. We're rating it 7.
7. Yes, I'm fine with a 7. All right. This is episode 337 of our show, where we review Oscar films this time of year. This week we reviewed Sound of Metal. We just gave it a 7. Go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. Go to iTunes. Listen to the show there. You can do a search for Moviesucktastic on the interwebs, as the kids say. And you can find us that way. If you want to leave us email, it's themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. If you want to leave us voicemail, please do. 908-514-4470. And that's pretty much it. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
Huh?
All right. Talk to you next week. Bye, guys.